In this presentation, we will continue our discussion of air travel, focusing on airfares, procedures, and policies. Airfares can be confusing. It's sometimes difficult to understand why two people sitting next to each other on the same plane paid quite different fares. Also, where are those rock bottom fares that are advertised on the internet? And boy, do those extras add up. And by the way, how did I get bumped from my flight when I had a confirmed seat? We'll be addressing these topics throughout this presentation. Let's start our discussion of airfares with booking codes. Back in the day when we were still, gasp, writing tickets, travel counselors had to know a lot more about booking codes or fare basis codes. Now you may not even be aware of the booking codes, but it's still a good idea to at least have a passing acquaintance with them. There are generally many booking codes or fare basis codes for a flight. Typically they will include letters and/or numbers indicating the class of service, eligibility for refund or not, and/or any advance purchase requirement. Each fare basis code will have its own rules and restrictions attached to it. And why did that guy sitting next to you on the plane pay $100 less than you did? Well, the airlines would like to sell all their seats for the highest fare possible, but that doesn't happen, so the airlines practice yield management. Fares can change or disappear on a dime, depending on how the plane is filling up and how close you are to the actual departure date. Most airline fares are determined by supply and demand, not by the distance flown, and computers have made it very easy for the airlines to change their fares. Fares are either unrestricted, also referred to as full fare, or they are restricted, also referred to as promotional or discounted. As you probably suspected, along with discounted fares, you also get some restrictions, and those tickets are almost always non-refundable. Most airlines will also charge a hefty fee for any changes. What are some of the common restrictions on discounted fares? They may be valid only certain days of the week, and you probably have to purchase them in advance. It may be 7, 14, or 21 days in advance, although sometimes it's shorter. As mentioned previously, most airlines charge hefty change fees, and discounted tickets are generally non-refundable, although you will probably get a credit to use within a certain period of time. There will probably be restrictions on routing and stopovers, and there may be blackout dates, which usually involve heavily traveled holiday periods. Two more terms: through fares and point-to-point fares. A regular connecting flight is typically a through fare, and there's no charge for the intermediate connecting city. However, if you build in a stopover city, or if you include different airlines that do not have interline agreements, a separate fare will be charged for each flight. You may have heard of special discounts such as senior discounts or military discounts. Yes, they do exist, but don't assume they're always less expensive, and they may not be available for your flight. Since the discount is likely to be on the unrestricted fare or the full fare, you may actually find a published promotional fare for less, so it always pays to check. So, in summary, fares are influenced by a variety of factors, including the route, the type of fare, class of service, taxes and surcharges, restrictions, promotions, and any special discounts. Here are some miscellaneous things to keep in mind that involve air reservations. Reservations may be made a variety of ways, either directly by the passenger or through a travel agency, a tour company, cruise line, or consolidator. A PNR stands for Passenger Name Record, and it is the official record for the reservation. For each PNR, an airline assigns a record locator, which is roughly equivalent to the confirmation number. Paper tickets are rare these days, but if you have one for any reason, you must present it when checking in. Otherwise, you will not get on the plane. Your ticket is a contract between you as a passenger and the airline. Seat assignments may or may not be made in advance, and boarding passes may be printed in advance at the airport, or they may be electronic. Always make sure you check in before the airline's deadline and be at the gate by a specified time, or you may be left at home rather than making your way to that dream destination.